they said it was over. They said the bloodline was dead, buried under the weight of betrayal, civil war, and Solo Siko's hostile takeover. But Familia, what if everything you thought you knew about why the OG bloodline is coming back together was wrong? Because the real reason has just been revealed, and trust me, the rest of it is going to shock you. Welcome back to Wrestling Streams. No filler, just fire. For the past few weeks, something has been quietly shifting inside Monday Night Raw. Roman Reigns has been carrying himself differently, colder, more commanding, like a man who stopped pretending he's changed. And the Usos? G and Jimmy have been inserting themselves into Roman's business week after week, confronting his enemies, joining his beatdowns, talking strategy in locker rooms like it's 2022 all over again. But what ignited the fuse? What actually pulled these three men back toward each other after everything they went through? It started with disrespect. CM Punk dragged the name of Roman Reigns' late great father, Sika Anoa'i, into a promo. That was the spark. The Usos didn't just take offense, they took it personally, confronting Punk the following week and demanding a public apology. And when Punk refused, Jimmy Uso responded the only way he knew how, with a punch straight to the jaw of the reigning World Heavyweight Champion. Just like that, the rules of the game changed. This was no longer a storyline about Roman Reigns versus CM Punk. This became a bloodline matter. Now here's where it gets deeper than most people are talking about. Punk had already been dropping verbal grenades on Raw, declaring that Roman Reigns was isolated from his family, that he had no support system left in the locker room. He called Reigns alone. He called the bloodline a broken legacy. Think about that for a second. CM Punk basically dared the Usos to prove him wrong. And in professional wrestling, when you poke a family like the Anoa'i dynasty, you don't just get a reaction, you get a reckoning. Roman Reigns himself made a move the internet couldn't ignore. Just before a recent episode of Raw, the tribal chief posted a video showing new Nike gear. It wasn't the gear people were talking about, it was the caption. "Don't mess with family," he wrote. And the music playing in the background? The final lyric said, "This is the family tree." Now, Solo Sikoa is currently leading his own faction on SmackDown called My Family Tree. You want to tell me that choice of words was a coincidence? Roman Reigns doesn't do coincidences. That was a message. That was a warning shot fired at everyone who thought the original bloodline was finished. But here's the layer that the surface level takes are missing: Familia. WWE is not bringing the OG bloodline back just for nostalgia. There are real business reasons driving this. The company's programming has been struggling to reach the heights it achieved during the Bloodline's golden era, when Roman, Jimmy, Sami Zayn, and Paul Heyman were must-watch television every single week. That period produced the greatest long-form storytelling WWE has seen in a generation. And now, with reports suggesting that The Rock is being lined up for a massive WrestleMania 43 appearance and that the long-awaited showdown between Roman Reigns and The Rock may finally be getting its proper setup, WWE needs the bloodline infrastructure rebuilt to make that story land with maximum impact. Let that sink in. The OG bloodline reunion isn't the destination, it's the vehicle. It's how WWE gets you from WrestleMania 42 to the most anticipated match the company has been teasing for years. Roman Reigns is the challenger heading into WrestleMania 42, not the champion. And if the faction reunites now, a completely new dynamic emerges, because this is the first time the bloodline would operate without Roman holding the gold. Would there still be a hierarchy? Would G and Jimmy follow orders, or fight as equals? Those are the questions that make this reunion more interesting than anything the original run ever served up in its final months. And then there's the vision angle that nobody is sleeping on enough. The OG bloodline reunion is also widely connected to the threat posed by Seth Rollins and his heel stable. Roman Reigns would not make the mistake of standing alone against a group of dominant stars, not after what happened to him post-WrestleMania. The Usos reuniting with Roman gives the OTC the numbers, the credibility, and the firepower to wage a full-scale war. That war could set up the long-rumored singles collision between Roman Reigns and Seth Rollins, the match WWE has been carefully assembling the pieces for over multiple years. Now let's talk about what makes this truly shocking, the part that goes beyond the storyline, beyond the promos, beyond the social media posts. When Roman Reigns defeated Solo Sikoa in the Tribal Combat match on the first Monday Night Raw broadcast on Netflix, the OG bloodline members stood by his side. They helped him reclaim the Ula Fala. And yet, Roman's behavior didn't change. He's still the same controlling, cold, calculating tribal chief. These men didn't reunite because Roman became a better person. They reunited because the alternative, letting their enemies win, letting the family name be dragged, was simply unacceptable. Standing by Roman Reigns is not easy. It never was. But watching someone drag their real-life family name through the mud made the choice clear. This isn't a feel-good reunion. This is survival instinct dressed up in Samoan family pride. There is also the unfinished business between Roman Reigns and GUSO that never got its proper resolution. Back when Reigns was seemingly grooming G to be his successor, that storyline was abruptly dropped. A full reunion now reopens the chapter, and the most compelling aftermath of WrestleMania 42 could be another Bloodline civil war, this time with a completely different dynamic between teacher and student. This story is just getting started. Familia. The OG Bloodline isn't back because WWE ran out of ideas. They're back because CM Punk disrespected a dead man's name, because Seth Rollins built an empire that needed to be answered, because The Rock's return is being orchestrated from the shadows, and because Roman Reigns has never not once in his career been more dangerous than when his back is against the wall. The tribal drums are beating again. The family is gathering, and everyone standing in their way should be very, very afraid. Drop your thoughts in the comments. Do you think the OG Bloodline reunion is good for WWE, or are we watching history repeat itself? Hit that like button, subscribe to Wrestling Streams, and share this with every wrestling fan you know. Wrestling Streams, no filler, just fire. Acknowledge that.